Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Hello, and welcome to Limit Free Life Radio with Michelle Perkins. We are here at UBN Radio, UBNradio.com, and we're here at the beautiful Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California. And I am having my first guest on my show today, so I'm very excited. I'm actually thrilled to have Jeanette Ceja on my show with me today to talk about her fantastic limit-free life that she's created for herself. And so we're going to get to Jeanette, and I'll tell you more about her, and then have a great conversation with her that I know you're going to love listening to. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about what the show is about and why I'm doing this. My company, Limit Free Life, is a personal development and coaching company specializing in the area of work, helping people to really find and really, better yet, create work that they love, work that is fulfilling and fun and financially prosperous. I help people with career transition coaching, entrepreneurial coaching, and the thing that I really love is money mindset mentoring. So helping people with their relationship with money and allowing them to really feel more freedom and build the life they want with, being in alliance with their money and having a great relationship. And Jeanette and I are going to talk a little bit about how her money relationship has impacted her decisions and what she's been able to do with her life as well. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Jeanette. She is a bilingual travel journalist, has a journalism degree, and took a few twists and turns on her way to being a travel host and international public speaker. She is she's appeared in television, magazines, and newspapers around the nation. She speaks on stages from Los Angeles all the way to Romania, so she is traveling. She graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism from Belmont University, which I believe is in Tennessee, Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. And then she has a professional producing. She went through a professional producing program at UCLA for film and television as well. She's interviewed countless celebrities, athletes, politicians, and travel experts, including ones that we've all heard: Anthony Bourdain, Samantha Brown, Pauline Frommer, and Rick Steves. So today she's frequently called upon as a travel expert and an international public speaker for events around the world. So welcome, Jeanette, and we're going to take her passion for travel and get everyone very excited today to spark their own passions. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here and just to be able to share that inspiration for travel and hopefully spark something in somebody right today.
Yeah. Well, travel is kind of the ultimate representation of freedom, I think, for a lot of us. And a lot of us are working hard to get to the point where we can travel, where we have the means and the time to go and see the world and experience adventures and all kinds of new things. And you've been doing that and becoming an expert in how to do it.
Yes. And it's something that I feel was born in me. I truly feel it's in my DNA. It's something that I can't not do.
Yeah. So those are the things you should be doing for sure.
Right. And as you mentioned before, it's I've worked in several different industries, from sports to news and entertainment. I even did a red carpet for a couple of years. However, I was never fully satisfied or fulfilled. There was something missing, always missing. And it didn't matter how much money they threw at me. It wasn't about that, It was
Right.
about the passion and my purpose. And I quit every job to travel. People thought I was crazy, but what they don't understand is that this is my life calling. It's not a hobby. I'm not
Right.
doing it just to go on a vacation and get away. In that sense, I'm doing it to fulfill my purpose and to come back and share and inspire and empower others to travel, which is what I want to do.
That's great. And we talk a lot. We talked last show actually all about passion and how you find it. And, that's a confusing thing for people. People who want to make a change are oftentimes faced with, well, what do I really want to do and what is my passion? And you seem to have a sense of that from the start, or did that develop along the way?
I always knew since I was a little girl, I would read the newspaper at the dining room table, and I would read it to my family or I'd read it to myself. But I always knew that I was a communicator. I needed to be constantly communicating with people, being a messenger, sharing information. I thought that was the news. I grew up watching Katie Couric or Christiane Amanpour, and I thought that that's what I wanted to do. However, I realized when I was 12 years old on a trip with my family to Europe that when you travel, you realize how much you actually don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And there's nothing that a book or a show can show you until you go in person and experience it for yourself. And when I was 12 years old, I had a little journal and I had a little disposable camera because back in the days, that's what, that's all we
Right.
had. No iPhones, nothing like that, no social media. And I started taking photos and that's where my photography passion grew, and then
Nice.
writing, my journalism. And so it's been almost 19 years since I've been writing, whether personally or professionally, about travel.
Wonderful. Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. And you didn't start out right away in travel with your career.
No, I did not. I went to school at Belmont University, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, and I went for journalism with the aspiration to be a travel journalist, although that wasn't even a thing at the time. I just knew that the foundation was I needed to be a journalist and I needed to be the best journalist. So I did a couple news internships. It's funny because the news station I interned at, it was the local CBS affiliate, and that's where Oprah did one of her anchor jobs.
Oh, very cool.
And you would think they would have a shrine, a wall dedicated to her, but no. At least when I was there, they didn't. However,
It is surprising.
I know. However, I did the news, and I would go in, do 10-hour shifts, internships, and we would cover stories, and I would be with the reporters and the videographers, and I would just, come back from my internship every day drained, exhausted, sad. Just, I knew this isn't what I wanted to do.
Right.
The reality is that these are real people's lives. It's not like the entertainment business where they're actors and they'll go home and and this is real people's lives, and these are real stories, and I feel really compassionate for them. However, I am too compassionate.
Right.
I have too much empathy, and they would always tell me, don't smile as much, or you need to be serious, or you need to be neutral, and
Interesting.
that's telling me who not to be and not being myself. And if anyone that knows me knows that I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. I'm very positive Pam. Debbie Downers don't like me, and that's who I am. And
Right.
so, I couldn't do the news, and then I ventured into entertainment. Coming back to California, where I'm originally from, Orange County, and I fell into movie sets and production, and went to UCLA, got my certification for producing, with the aspiration, though, to host and produce my own travel show. So underlying and
Right.
everything I did was building to something. And then
I'm going to interrupt you for one
Yeah.
second because I think that's so interesting, because so often when we're looking for our passion, we really have to go back to our childhood, the things that really we loved then. And sometimes we've even forgotten what they are, and it takes some excavating to figure it back out. But yeah, so what you're saying is it was always with you from the start.
Always with me. It was always the travel since I was 12 years old. That's when I said, this is what I want to do. And, I veered off different paths.
We all veer off.
Veered off. And then I also veered into sports. I ended up working at Fox Sports for a couple of years. The money was really good, and I enjoy sports. However, is it my passion? No.
Right.
So I quit and moved to Italy.
Oh.
And my family was saying, "You're crazy. How can you?" But again, it's a deep rooted passion, and if you, and a lot like what the authors say, what you resist persists. You
That's right.
can hold it down and push it down. Like, Jeanette, you need to be realistic. You need to do this job. You need to just. I don't know, just not do it. And
Right.
it just would keep coming. The urgency to travel. And
Yeah.
more than just travel, what I think it is, Michelle, is it's me being a humanitarian, me being a global citizen, me wanting to go to meet the locals everywhere I go,
Nice.
learn, explore, discover, come back and share, and then inspire and empower people either about that culture, that country, and find ways to unite.
Right.
That's what it is. It's more than just like the destination, more than just going to like the nice hotels. That's all amazing. I'm very grateful for that, but that's not what it drives me.
Yeah, very interesting. So that gets back to the point of the big why, because
Yes.
there's usually something that is at a higher level overriding what we do. And I mean, yours comes with all kinds of wonderful perks, like the hotels and all
Yes.
the beautiful things that you see. But there really is something more than just you having fun out there traveling the world.
Absolutely. And I think the why, and this is universal, I think, for any career, any dream, the why has to be more important than the how.
Right.
It has to be more important because there will be obstacles, there will be failures, which I've had plenty of failures. There will be rejections or tests.
Do you want to tell us about
Yeah,
a failure? Everybody
sure.
loves to hear a good
Yeah.
failure story.
Where should we start? I don't even, I've failed. I've done a lot of, let's just go back to just plain old journalism, pitching stories. That's just a basic one. You pitch a story idea and, you'll get lots of no's, but then you'll get a yes. And just learning that it's not personal, it's just not right for that outlet, or it's not right for this. And my hosting days, I've gone on auditions where I didn't get the job, and it's just understanding that everything is in alignment. So it's not meant for you,
Right.
Or doing an interview where I didn't turn the audio on and didn't realize that the audio wasn't on until post production, and then. That was my mistake. That was a major bummer. And it was with a huge celebrity in the travel industry. So, again, I had to suck it up. I was disappointed in myself for like days. But then you learn and you grow. Right. I can go on with the failures as well as, from a lot of naysayers. And sometimes that could be from people that really love you and, within your own private circle, they have good intentions. They want you to be successful. However, they just don't see it. They don't see the how.
They want you to be successful, but they also really want you to be safe.
Right,
and not get hurt out there in the big world and be there, for them. So it's hard. Yeah.
But then again, it all goes back to the why. If your why is strong enough, no matter who or what says, that's not possible, that's not realistic, or that's not. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep doing it because I have to. Like, this is something bigger than me. Right? Because if I wasn't passionate about travel, and if I wasn't really pursuing it, I could be, at a really great job somewhere corporate. That's fine, making tons of money and, having this safe lifestyle. But am I living or existing? I'd be existing. And I've been there. And, material things come and go. For me, it's all about the reason why I love travel is because it's intangible and it's something that nobody can take from you. Your experience, whether you go to Santa Monica with your daughter for the weekend and you do a staycation, or you guys go hiking and you do Palm Springs, or you go somewhere, those memories and those experiences, nobody can take that away from you, right? Yeah. And you don't know what effect that will have on her 20, 30 years from now. And then she'll want to make those memories with her children and those children and those children. So for me, it's travel is a form of education, and it's a form of discovering who you are as well.
Right. Yeah, there's so much growth I've found that happens. And actually, even for business, to get away from your office and out into I've gone to Yosemite. I've gone, just out in the woods to clear your head and get creative and think of new ideas. And I mean, anytime you travel and you leave, your perspective shifts so much that, for anything that you're doing and anything you want to reflect on, it's so valuable in addition to the fun and the growth.
Absolutely. And I won't take away that I love going to nice places and I like staying at nice hotels, of course. But have I gone to third world countries and I've, stayed in hostels and I've experienced, what the locals, absolutely. I think it's universal. You can have a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So, along with the naysaying, I love to talk about money mindset, and there's a lot that I'm sure you've dealt with in terms of money, because I mean, even if you travel simply, in the big scheme of things, there are costs involved in travel. For most people, they see travel as sort of a reward. I mean, a perk for working hard and then you get to go on vacation, or you work forever and then you retire and you get to travel. There's all kinds of thinking around travel. And so anyway, how did you deal with the fact that, it does cost money to travel and you were determined to do it?
Absolutely. Well, the top 3 reasons that I hear why people don't travel is money, time, and a fear. A fear related to, it can range from safety to taking a trip by themselves. I believe that it does take money to travel. However, what is travel? That's an individual, it's based on the individual. Travel can be from here to your local coffee shop. You are traveling. You are leaving your home. It can be within your own city. The concept sometimes with travel is that it has to be far and it has to be luxurious and it has to be, but that can be, but it can be going, taking your car and going with your daughter to, Palm Springs for a day.
I love that, kind of redefining what it is, because then you could feel like you're traveling all the time.
Absolutely. And travel, I mean, we live in, Los Angeles or Malibu, but even within Los Angeles proper, downtown, for example, has underground, restaurants and bars, and they have tunnels where they do tours from the Prohibition era. Los Angeles is full of gems of history and nature and hiking and things that we can do, that we can travel within our own city. For again, just like with money, travel is a mindset. And
very interesting.
And if and a lot of people, when I was working at Fox Sports and I quit to move to Italy because I wanted to experience living abroad. A lot of my coworkers or superiors told me, oh, I wish I could do what you're doing, and I would say, well, you can. I mean, you don't have to sell your car on Craigslist. You don't have to, keep it hidden from your family so they won't think you're crazy. You don't have to make all these sacrifices. I mean, you don't have to move abroad either. You can go for a week or so, but if there wasn't a way, I would find a way. That's the thing with me. It's like, if you really, I think it was Jim Rohn who said this, if you really want something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. So for me, there wasn't an excuse not to travel. There isn't.
Right. Well, and even taking blocks of time off, like going to Europe for 6 months. And I do know people who have successful careers and do that, maybe take the summers off and tell their clients, I'm gone for the summer. And everybody else is freaking out, thinking they'll all leave you and you'll come back and have no clients. And it doesn't happen. Obviously they're good at what they do, so their clients are willing to wait. But so it's interesting because that's definitely a money mindset and kind of a scarcity feeling that if you take time to travel, real time, then you'll lose everything you have at home.
Yeah, and you can plan it, way ahead in advance if you like to, and you can nowadays stay at Airbnb. You can rent homes. You can do home exchange where you can exchange your home with somebody. Let's say someone who owns a villa in Tuscany and they want to come to LA or they want to come to Malibu, which I'm guaranteed there's hundreds and thousands of people that want to come here. You could do a home exchange. So you do the same. So there's so many options out there. It's again, how bad do you want it?
Right.
If you don't want it bad, you'll say, it's just out of my reach, or that's too. Again, it's a mindset. Just like with money, travel is a mindset. And that's why I constantly feel, even now more than ever, the need to do workshops or the need to do I don't know, a podcast or ebook, or do something to be a resource for more people, because there's so many cracks that are, and the public has information at their fingertips, especially here in the USA. We have the internet, we have books, we have magazines, we have social media. I mean, we have so much information at our fingertips, yet people, I got somebody who asked me if a city in Mexico, they didn't know if they should get an international flight. And it was a legitimate question. And, this is a college student. I really like you. Okay. But, coming from a sense that, okay, there's a need, there's something missing here. Right.
Yeah, and I think today there's so much information that it can be really overwhelming. So you almost have more of a need for somebody to give you some direct advice, that's personalized for what you need. I was wondering, because you've taken something that is a fun thing for most people, and you've created a business around it, really. I mean, this is your whole.
Yes.
It's very holistic, I would imagine, for you, because it's work, but it's also a lifestyle and everything else. So, but at some point, I would think that you had to think about what you wanted to do in terms of travel, and then kind of how to create a business around it as well, and to monetize it and make it a...
Yes, and I think for me, at least in my journey, it's always been passion first, then everything else, like the business side. And it also has to do with, I also had growing up, two different, mindsets about money from my parents.
Okay.
And both of them are amazing, and, they just came from different upbringings.
Can you tell us a little about that? Yeah.
So, for example, my father grew up in a home, and he was one of 8 children. He was one of the older sons, and he's never stopped working since he was about 14 to help support his brothers and sisters. And they shared, I think, a 2-bedroom home for 10 of including 8 children. Whereas my mother comes from Mexico City, metropolitan capital city of Mexico, where her father was like an engineer of a electronic company, and my grandmother was stay-at-home mom. She never had to work a day in her life to take care of the 8 children.
Right.
And so my father's approach to us was work, work, work. Money doesn't grow on trees, more of a scarcity, mindset. And where my mother was abundance, and it was school, 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 study, study, study. Education is really important, and, more of abundance. So I would get these mixed signals, and I think that's why I was confused a lot of my...
There's a lot of conflict there.
My journey, my career, because for me, even to this day, it's never been, and it's not about the money. It's the passion.
Right.
But yet I came to understand that I do add value, and I am worthy, and I do need to get compensated for my time, for my expertise, because it's something that I have over 10 years of experience, and I've been dedicated to it, to the travel industry. And I've gone to every travel conference. Like you're saying, I've interviewed probably every travel expert. I've written for several publications. I mean, I've done so much to be a contributor to this industry that I feel, I'm worth it.
Right.
So, yes.
Okay, well, we're going to take just a short break, and then we'll come back and talk to Jeanette some more about her fantastic career in travel. I think one of the most important messages I have to share with the world about the work that I do is that your work is yours to create. This is your piece of art that you can create in your life, and there's really nothing stopping you. Overall, most of us can learn what we need to learn and figure out what we need to figure out and create that fabulous career or business that we dream about. And there's really no reason to think that you can't. My name is Michelle Perkins, and I am the CEO and founder of a company called Limit Free Life. And I help men and women to make dramatic change in their lives so that they can have the fulfillment, fun, and financial prosperity that they have always wanted to find through their work. The main services I offer through Limit Free Life are one-on-one private coaching, group coaching, trainings and seminars, and business consulting. My signature service is one-on-one coaching over a period of time, 3 months, 6 months, even a year. It really allows a person to decide on an outcome that they desire, and then for us to work together to really achieve that outcome in full. The type of clients that I typically work with are professional men and women who are driven to do more, who might be entrepreneurs, but also career professionals who work in organizations, who are really looking to do more with their lives and very open to thinking in new ways about what they're doing, and who are willing to take responsibility, do the work, make some changes, and who don't say I can't a whole lot. Clients up-level in a number of ways. For some, they start a business after being in the corporate world. For others, they have an existing business and they really figure out the key and the formula to making that business grow and take off. For some, it's a matter of really developing courage. And for many, it's a matter of up-leveling their view of themselves, what they're capable of, how powerful they are, what their strengths are, and where they can go in life. What I see also is that there's a spark that kind of gets lit, and that flame keeps growing within them, and there are things that they want that maybe they were reluctant to even express that they wanted, and now they just go for it. They have bigger wants and bigger dreams than they had before, and the sense that they can achieve those things. I feel very strongly that money beliefs are foundational to developing a business that can scale and grow and become the business that you want it to be, whatever level of success that is. And for people who feel stuck or their business isn't going the way they want, a lot of times it comes back to some of these money beliefs. So as a certified money mindset coach, I have the training to help people understand where their hidden money beliefs are either interfering in their lives or businesses, or coming into play in some fashion in all the decisions that they're making, both in their business and in their life. The overall mission behind my work is to help people love their work, to find satisfaction, fulfillment, fun, and also to be financially prosperous in what they're doing. That combination to me is a perfect recipe for making work a great part of your life. And so that's my vision, is for people to see work and money as allies in their life and things they can lean on so that they have something that makes them feel important and something that gives them a place to go to develop a sense of identity and purpose and meaning in the world. My greatest hope for my clients is that they will develop a holistic relationship with work, money, and life, and there won't be this separation where they go to work and then they live their life after work, and they will develop work or businesses that they love, that they look forward to going to, and that give them the freedom and the income and the happiness that they're looking for in their life. Hi, welcome back to Limit Free Life with Michelle Perkins, and we are here at UBN Radio, ubnradio.com. And I'm with the lovely Jeanette Seha, and she's talking today about her fabulous career in travel. And she's created a wonderful career and life for herself and is living what, I aspire to help people to have, which is a life that is fulfilling and fun and financially prosperous and really driven by a big why. Jeanette was talking about her big why before. And because what she does is different, we always have things that come up for us that, try to step in and limit what we're trying to do, particularly with respect to money and other things as well. But we were talking a bit about money mindset, and I thought I'd go back to that for a minute and just ask you, so when you started this, well, first of all, you worked some regular jobs and before you really set off on your own to do something more unique. But.
Yes. And regular but not regular, right. Meaning the range from, red carpets to doing that, host, and then being
regular for LA, I guess, but not really regular.
Regular for LA, but not really regular. But also, working in sports. I worked in Fox Sports for a couple of years, so I've done, those jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because every time I would try to play small and be behind the camera, somebody would say, you need to be in front of the camera. You need to be with the people. Every time I try to play small, they just no. There's something that wants, or someone that wants me out there and about.
That's
So.
good. That's a good push. But I'm sure you felt resistance to that for a little bit as
Yes,
well.
because of course, like in anything, well, I am a people person. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm very people oriented. I love people, and that's the reason why I'm a journalist, because at the end of the day, I get to meet people and share their stories. I'm a storyteller. However, yeah, I mean, there's tons of times where I've been uncomfortable, but I actually love being uncomfortable.
How has that changed from the beginning? Because I know that's a process. That's a learned thing for most people, especially business people who need to feel uncomfortable to grow and to evolve and to create a bigger business or life for themselves. So maybe what I'd love to hear about is kind of a little bit about the money mindset at the beginning and the comfort level with what you were doing. And then as you progressed and as you became more successful, how did that mindset change, and how did this sort of comfort with being uncomfortable happen?
Right. Oh, being uncomfortable. Well, I think if we talk about money, which is a mindset, travel is a mindset, I believe money is also what I've learned is a worthiness issue that ties down to your self-worth, what you feel like your talent is, what you feel you can offer, how much expertise you have. I feel that's important, but deep down inside, I really feel like it's also self-love, like how much you love yourself and how much you feel you're worthy of. Because if you don't feel like you're enough, or if you don't feel like you are worthy, an opportunity can come, knock on your door, or someone can hand it to you. You're like, oh, I'm scared, I'm not ready, this is too much. And, maybe in my 20s or so, that's happened to me where I wasn't ready. And, that's the thing too. When is it going to be the right time?
Yeah, it's a great question.
There is never going to be. And a lot of the most successful leaders and people in our industry, they all said, I went out there and I was so scared. I was afraid. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do it. And then that's part of the growth, is just get out there and do it, And Brene Brown, I love her,
me too.
her speech about vulnerability. It's just being vulnerable and being, I don't know everything and I don't know everything, certainly.
Right.
And as we spoke before, I mean, I failed plenty of times. I never had really a fear of failure. That wasn't my thing. It was actually fear of success. That was more my thing.
Interesting, which is another money mindset too.
Is,
if I do make a lot of money and I am successful, how will that change me? How will other people feel about me? There's a lot that goes into that will hold people back.
Yes, I feel once I recognize that, for instance, I said in the past, I would play small. People, and then these opportunities would come and I wouldn't feel ready, or I wouldn't feel enough, but again, it all has to do with yourself. So it goes and money, travel, everything that I've experienced that now I know is a worthiness, a self-love issue. If you don't think you're enough and worthy, then doesn't matter what anyone says or does.
Right.
You will find an excuse, or you'll go back to what's comfortable, because, who wants to be uncomfortable? Nobody. It's not fun being uncomfortable, but that's how we grow, right? By being uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. So how would you say, so now you've kind of gotten to a place where you recognize what that discomfort is, and you're kind of like, yeah, let's go for it. That just means I'm going to get to the next new place, right?
This, doing a live radio interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Kind of funny that I'm asking the question since you're the journalist, but that's a little stressful for me, actually. But so as far as your money mindset too, is it kind of the same thing that where you might get uncomfortable with certain financial decisions as well, but is it the same thing where you can get past it and make this work?
Absolutely. I think, have a stack of contracts right now that, I mean, I still have to look over and understand more about. But what I'm saying is, I'm not afraid to turn something or someone down if it's not aligned to my purpose or passion, or if it's not being genuine to who I am, because I know that, money is energy and our relationship to money is very personal, and I know my worth, so I'm
Right. Yeah, that's a great example, actually, of what can happen where you can take on things that you don't, you're not happy about after you've taken them on. So to be
Right.
conscious of it and know in advance that you can make decisions based on, a strong money mindset and a feeling that it'll be okay if you don't take this particular job or whatever.
Right. And I think that, it's very comfortable to have a set income. But what I've learned from a lot of leaders and just listening to podcasts, reading books, I feel money, it's finding multiple sources of income.
Right.
And also, but providing value, being of service, right? Instead of looking at people with money signs, looking at them as being a problem solver, saying, how can I help you? What can I do to help solve your problem? Because at the end of the day, isn't that what business is? Business is based on relationships, and I don't know. I mean, I hate to see people burn bridges because of money, which money is important. I understand, absolutely. And it's essential for everyday living. And I feel that money is good.
Right.
But however, I feel like money is energy. And if somebody wants to do something bad with money, they will. If someone wants to do good with money, they will. I think it's individual.
Right. And yeah, it is interesting in the context of travel because there are a lot of people who are working hard and doing a lot of things and making a lot of decisions, but saying, gosh, I just don't have the money for travel. And that's not something that you would have ever said. I think you would have maybe, you would have figured that out.
Yes.
So.
And I feel, for instance, money with travel, you can go to your local park, go hiking, have a picnic, go to, the beach. It doesn't have to be out of this country, out of this, out of the way. I really feel, again, it's a mindset. Travel.
Yeah, I love that's my big takeaway so far for today is that almost, gosh, you can make travel out of so many things. And I love that. I'm going to be so aware of that now. One of the things that I know you do, because I've gone to one of your workshops, is vision boarding.
Yes.
And you're kind of a master at vision boarding, and it's clearly worked for you. I remember your story about, and you can tell it. I see you as kind of a visionary thinker for sure.
Oh, yes.
So maybe you can talk a little about vision boarding and about what that, how that has impacted you. And then also the fact that you can have your vision and you can have the right mindset. But in addition to that, there's another piece that has to happen. And so we don't like to lead people to think that you just, all you need is a great mindset, because it isn't quite enough.
That's true. That's one step. That's a major step, but that's not the only step.
Right.
Like, for instance, the law of attraction, ask, believe, receive. Yes, that is good, but one step that is missing and that is crucial is action.
Yeah.
Taking action. I thank you so much for the kind compliment, by the way. I believe that I am a true visionary in every sense. I see things before they're even there, possible. A lot of the times when I've told people my dreams or aspirations, they would say, "Oh, that sounds great, but how?" And I don't see, and this and that. And to me, I never think about that. I think, what are you talking about? Why? My question isn't why; it's why not.
Yeah.
So I've kind of trained and rewired my subconscious to think that way. But the reason why I love vision boards is being a visionary. I've studied a lot about the brain and the mind, and it's really fascinating. And a lot of greats like John Assaraf and Bob Proctor and Jack Canfield talk about ways about vision boards, and they were in the movie The Secret as well. Basically, what a vision board is, for anyone that hasn't done one or know what one is, it's literally a board where you put your goals, affirmations, your visions, and that can be anything from career, finances, relationship. I mean, it's just having a clear set of your goals on a board, somewhere where you look at it every day, preferably for about 7 to 17 seconds, because I heard somewhere 17 seconds creates the momentum, and it gets your brain, like the brain is so fascinating. If it's true that we only use 10% of our brain, imagine. I mean, it's amazing.
Stunning.
That's why I believe visionaries are very important, because it's good to have realists. It's good to have people that hold you down, like keep you grounded. However, you need to have visionaries to see and to do more. And vision boards, I can't tell you how many things have come true off my vision boards. I mean, I don't even know where to start. From everywhere, from celebrating my birthday in Italy, and I had a picture of Positano, and I just found it like on the internet, and I made it my screensaver. I made it on my computer and on my cell phone, and I would just tell people, I said, I'm going to celebrate my birthday there. I don't know when, I don't know with who, I don't care, but I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be eating pasta and drinking and drinking wine, and everyone's like, oh, that's cute, whatever. I'm like, okay. 6 months go by. I get a hotel. I forget what the name is right now, but it was in Positano. And long story short, I get there. The bellman takes me to my room, opens the curtains, and it's not like close to that picture. I mean, I don't know if you probably see it. Oh, you probably see it on my Instagram up there if you keep going down. But it's on my Instagram. But it's literally, when he opened the curtains of my room, it was the photo image from my vision board, from the flowers to the restaurant to everything, and I just went like, oh my god, and I just started crying tears of joy and amazement, and the guy thought I was weird and was like, oh, what's going on? But I was like, you don't understand. Oh, it's that one, right there in the pink dress. I'm wearing pink. Great. As you can see, I love pink, but if you go down, you click on it. That's it, Positano. That's the dress.
So one experience like that, and you'll be vision boarding like crazy. Yeah,
I could not believe it. Okay, guys, so that's Positano, which everyone should go to at least once in their life in Italy. But the power of visualizing and being crystal clear in what you want. And if you were to go to my place right now, my wall is covered in travel, and of course I want to get married and have kids. That's important to me as well, and I'm very family oriented, and especially growing up in Mexican family, we find any and every excuse just to be together. Like, oh, it's Friday, you want to I don't know, you want to have a dinner party? Yeah, you graduated 5th grade. Let's have a big party for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's it got to the point where I started speaking about vision boards, and people would ask me to help them with a vision board. And it's getting to the point where, people want me to do like more events. And for me, it's all about my way of giving back and inspiring people, because what makes me so happy, even when I'm not traveling, is when other people are traveling.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy because I know their life is going to change. They're not going to come back the same.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's a great story. So, okay, so you did the vision board, and then somehow you got to the point of actually making the plan to go as well. So that's the action piece of it, or
right? Okay, so
was there anything special that went into that, or
right? So that's important part to mention is the action. So always important to have a vision or an idea of what you want. However, to take a small action towards that goal every day, consistently. So, for example, if it was taking a trip to Italy, having an idea, okay, where do I want to go to Italy? Okay, I want to go to Amalfi Coast. Okay, where in Amalfi Coast? I want to go Positano. And then the next day, research hotels. The next day, research, when's the best time to go? And then the next day, contact hotels. And then so every day, consistently doing a goal to make that happen. As far as career, that can be the same thing.
That's what I was just thinking. If you're looking to change your career, same thing, a little something every day, and, things will really happen.
Yes. And I think, I even was talking to a girlfriend today, one of my really good friends, and she wants to start her own business. And I always encourage her, because it's her real passion. She's a food. She got gastronomy. She's a
Oh,
food
cool.
expert.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And I've been telling her, like, just go for it. And it's been about 6 months. And I asked her today if she had even business cards, and she doesn't. So, again, then you don't want it that bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Wow. Okay. This went too fast. So
It
we're
really
we're
went
running low on
too
time.
fast.
I want to give you a chance. You were talking about giving value. I want you to have a chance to tell people how you give value. What is it that you do for people who, are also wanting to travel? And
Yes. Well, I'm really grateful to have had so many experiences and opportunities to travel. And my way that I feel I give value is, well, one, my time, which is our biggest commodity. If anyone gives you their time,
so true.
that's everything. Another thing is I'm constantly asked, whether it's from friends or family or friends of friends or social media or you name it. Every day I have questions about travel. Where should I go? What should I do? Who should I see? Well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you get to the point where it's so overwhelming that I can't keep up with all the questions and demands. So I started to thinking, okay, well, I will trade my time for my expertise, which is essentially consulting,
Right.
which is one avenue, as well as the workshops, which is a way for me to be a resource and educate and inform and inspire
Right.
in person, because I'm very people oriented, and I just, and have that. Speaking of workshops, so my first workshop, shameless plug, is
This is good.
is going to be on April 22nd. It's going to be here in Venice Beach. So I plan to do monthly workshops
Great.
and every month covering a different topic in travel. And so this topic for April will be on women, female solo travel, because I get approached by women who want to travel, but they're afraid because they don't want to go alone. And, that's a legit fear, but I want to do a workshop that helps guide them and be a resource, because I've taken about 10 or 12 trips all over the world by myself, and I've come back in one piece,
I love that. I love that. And it's great for the limit-free life idea, because
Yes.
as a woman, you don't want to feel limited by, your fear of traveling around the world by
Right.
yourself. So that's a huge area of...
And that's a fear of a lot of women, and whether it's because you're afraid to be alone, just because you're afraid to be in your own company, or you're afraid to be alone because you're afraid to be in other people's company, that's individual. But either way, the more you travel, whether it's alone or with somebody, it's like a muscle. You grow and you get confident, and
Right.
you feel unstoppable. So
Yeah, it really does feed into the limit-free life idea so incredibly well, because that, I don't know anything that would make you feel more empowered that way than to be able to travel on your own, or, that's
Yes.
fantastic. So, Jeanette, tell us how people can find you.
Yes. So people can find me on my website, www.jetsetwithjeanette.com. And I'm on all social media platforms, or they can email me at jeanette@jeanettereports.com. And feel free to send me any questions, or, if you're interested in traveling, and I'm your girl.
That's great. And look into that workshop in Venice if you're a woman wanting to travel and feeling uncomfortable. So, I think I may be at that workshop as
Yay!
well. So thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much for being
you.
here. This was a real treat, and it gets me inspired to travel myself, which I already love to do, but you make me realize that there's a lot more out there to do, and why
Thank
wait?
you.
Why not do it right now? So,
Exactly.
so thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
And if you would like to reach me, my website is limitfreelife.com. You can email me at michelle@limitfreelife.com. And if you have questions, if you would like to have a chat about your business or your career transition or your relationship with money, feel free to send me an email. And we'll be here next Wednesday at 1 o'clock at UBN Radio. And thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great rest of the week.
In the future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.